The next scene is glorious in every way possible. Oh my God. So we are still at the ICC ranch, and Fred is coming out so he can get picked up to go to Geneva. And Twello is there, and he has a little speech for Fred. Commander Waterford, the ICC court has found you unfit for leniency, and they have turned your dispensation over to the American government. You are now in my custody. And then they handcuff this motherfucker. He will never be Fred to me. He will always be this motherfucker. By the way, Joseph Fiennes, I know I have said some shit in the last 4 seasons, but obviously we know what's coming. We're going to miss the shit out of you. You know what? If you can play a villain whom I love,
I
then you're
know.
amazing. And
I
just props to
know.
you. And I'm hoping that we see you in flashbacks or something. But man, you made a villain that I love to hate, and I appreciate the shit out of it.
You know what I
Thank you.
really appreciate out of Joseph Fiennes' portrayal of Fred Waterford? Scarlett, you pointed it out, and now I can't unsee it every time I go back and watch, is the way that his voice changes. Like, he really
Yes.
did
It's very subtle.
play a very interesting Fred through this last season. And right up in this scene here, like when he marches out of that detention center, Fred feels like $1,000,000 fucking. Like, where his voice was gravelly and there was all of that happening in his voice throughout this arc, he has reached his peak right now. Like, he has beat the system again. Like, I don't even think he thought this was possible for himself. And here he is, and he is like, you know what? Fred the Redeemer I am. Look at me go. As he struts out of there, and to see him just get squashed down by Tuello pretty quick was
Yeah.
it began the feel good moment that is the rest of this episode to me, and I really doubled down on that for a long part of that. And we'll get to that last scene, but I felt good about that too.
Oh, God, it was fucking delightful. And then Fred is just like, what is this, posturing? I want to speak to my lawyer. And Twello's like, oh, you don't have a lawyer anymore. And ding, 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 right there is where I knew. Fred, this is it. You are in official deep shit. When your legal representation is yanked, that's code for you don't really exist anymore, buddy. I'm so sorry. And Fred can't even wrap his brain around it. Why? Because this is insanity. I am a man. I have rights. Don't you see my penis swinging around for all to see?
Yeah. I'm a man and I have rights. And I laughed and laughed and laughed. I had to pause it right there as they're throwing him into the back of that vehicle because I just needed to relish that moment.
There were so many great lines, and that was certainly one of them. What I really loved about the scene was it was the start of Fred spewing things that were no longer effective as far as spin. Like, we've always seen Fred kind of be so slippery in a way that's almost impressive, in which he can use his mouth and his words to get himself out of situations. And he really feels like he's on the brink of doing it again. And to watch his realization that that is no longer what is happening in this situation, and then to see that he really flounders in the end. Like, he doesn't have a leg to stand on in terms of spin. So the best he's got is, this is idiocy. This is insanity. Ugh, what is this? What the fuck is this? Like, he just can't wrap his head from here until the end. Until his death, he has no longer been able to understand what is happening. And it's that great Fred, confusion of, what do you mean? And I just really fully appreciate the way this all came together from so many different aspects of the way that Fred created this entire justice system, and now he's part of it and feeling the weight of it, on top of the fact that this is just everything that he just didn't think he was touchable, and to watch him realize that he is just beautiful. It was poetic in all the ways that made me feel good. I will go back to this scene in this last 10-15 minutes, whatever it is, of this episode, long after this series is over. This will be one of the moments that I'm like, you know what, let me revisit this for a minute and watch this scene. It'll be this, as he, from here on out. And I just love it. It just makes me happy. And I don't know what that says about me as a person, but it just makes me happy.
No, it's okay. absolute, Schadenfreude, and I'm absolutely here for it.